This is the first time ever of the most expensive Proton ever sold to date. At this price point, X90 offers the middle-row seat experience. Yeah, you feel it most of the time. The startup is quite... The Proton X90 has been on the market since 2023, but with the influx of options from other Chinese brands, is the X90 still the most sensible, best value for money 3-row SUV on sale in Malaysia? Let's find out. My name's Adrian, I'm all about the details, and you're watching cDrive. This is the first time ever a Proton is sold at 150,000 ringgit price bracket, making the X90 flagship the most expensive Proton ever sold to date. Obvious rivals include the Chery Tiggo 8 Pro and Jetour VT9. However, in today's fierce competition, you can get yourself a Nissan X-Trail, Nissan Serena, or the Volkswagen Tiguan All-Space, granted with a bit of promotional rebates. The X90 is based on the Geely Howyer and it boasts the longest wheelbase among its aforementioned competitors of 2,805mm, which translates to a roomier cabin, especially for the third row passengers, and a more pliant ride on the highway. Being a Proton that prides itself in its ride and handling department, the X90 has its suspension tuned to suit Malaysia roads and Malaysians' preferences of a plush-ish ride, yet a stable and firm handling on the highway at higher speeds akin to a continental car. Proton has opted for the most sophisticated multi-link setup for the rear suspension, which offers greater impact whenever they make any tweaks. And this is much needed because the X90 runs on large 19-inch alloys with a lower 50 profile tires compared to its other competitors with 55 profile, much thicker. However, this does not compromise in terms of comfort, in terms of filtrations of undulations. The X90, in my opinion, among all its other competitors, offers the best balance between ride comfort, stability, as well as steering feedback. As with any Proton that is adapted from a Geely model, they introduce their own design elements, and this front fascia has been adapted and carried over into the latest X70 facelift. Now, this X90 offered a myriad of firsts for a Proton. It's the first Proton model to have dynamic turn indicators, first Proton model to have a lighting sequence when unlocked, first Proton model to have approach door unlock and walk away lock, and the first Proton model to have an intelligent power tailgate. With the third row seats up, you have 257 litres, which is good enough for one large size suitcase and a check-in bag. And underneath there's also additional storage underneath the false boot floor. Once you fold the rear seats down, the third row seats down, you're able to expand up to 1,200 litres of boot space. Now, this being the 6-seater captain's chairs version, the captain's chairs do not fold completely flat, so you're not able to fold down the second row seats to free up to 2,050 litres. Sitting inside, the older the X90 gets, the more I appreciate this cabin design that's sort of tacky yet maintains the conveniences of a traditional car. Two bright high-resolution screens over here that's incredibly crisp and fluid to use. Physical buttons for the air conditioning that's very straightforward to use over here, as well as physical buttons for the center console stack here. What's not so straightforward are the instrument cluster displays to toggle between the menus. So you can see that the instrument cluster screen here, actually it's separated between the left and the right screen. The left side trip computer can be toggled via this trip button right here over to the left steering stalk, while the right side is toggled via this button. Now don't fret if there's no response, press the OK, the center OK button here once to clear the warning message, and you're able to access the menu list. To place your large-size water bottles, you can fit them over to the side door bins. You can place them below the center console storage here, both of them, or this incredibly large center armrest storage, which you can fit 3 of them. Now, a suggestion to Proton is that they can actually route a piping from the rear air vent, so turn this into a chiller box so it keeps your drinks cold. Stay hydrated, guys. Over to the passenger side, you're seated a little bit higher compared to the driver. That's because here you get a fixed seat height, non-adjustable. To open up the glove box, actually a press of a button and it opens up. To charge up your mobile devices, there's actually a wireless charging tray, a Type-A USB charging port, or you can run a Type-C cable from the rear so that you get fast charging. And over here, you get an LED soft lighting for the vanity mirror. The X90 flagship comes as a 222 seating configuration. Other variants come as a 232 seating configuration, with the middle being a center bench. Now, this pair of captain seats, I find that it's a more versatile option because accessing to the third row seats is a whole lot more convenient, and it offers a more premium rear seat experience. I would say that the X90 offers the best middle row seat experience at this price point, because here you get individual captain's chairs. The armrest is actually very nicely padded, very softly padded. And back here at this price point, it's the only car that offers rear seat ventilation. And this is really suitable for our Malaysian weather. I think the icing on the cake would be if Proton is able to have side sun blinds. That would be perfect, 10 out of 10. And for the rear seats, parents will be glad to know that both of these individual captain seats comes with ISOFIX mounting points for you to conveniently and safely strap your kids into the seats. And I think that the rear left side of the seat would be the best place to place your infant. That's because here you are able to have a BOSS switch to conveniently and quickly adjust the seats to make room to attend to your baby. Getting to the third row seats, you have to be slightly careful because the rear floor pan is actually slightly higher compared to the front. So you might actually sit your head up over to the roof. But once you're nicely settled in, you would quickly appreciate this being the longest wheelbase in the segment, because even with the middle row seats adjusted all the way backwards, I still have plenty of comfort and space for my knee, even if the middle row passengers have the maximum amount of knee room. Yeah, so I can do this on long distance journeys, no issues, because back here I have a roof mounted air vents as well as an individual USB charging port and one cup holder. Yeah, very nice, very comfortable. This is Proton's first ever production car with a 48-volt mild hybrid system that provides electrical assistance for when you're setting off, in between gear changes, while the turbo is spooling to provide a more seamless acceleration experience, which you'll definitely notice when you're in city driving like this. The auto start-stop can be activated below 16.9 kilometers per hour with enough brake pressure. So let's say you're coming to a complete stop with enough braking pressure, the engine cuts off like that. Don't be alarmed if you notice that the engine cuts off suddenly. The 48-volt makes up for a smoother start-up transition, but the 3-cylinder engine, yeah, you feel it most of the time. The startup is quite intrusive. The suspension work on this is superb, filtering the undulations yet providing the feedback that I like. Secondary rebound is very quick to settle because in some cars, while they're set up to be very soft upon compression, the secondary rebound can make the car feel a little bit wobbly. Not in the X90 though. It's firm, solid, comfortable. Passengers won't feel like they're being thrown around all the time. And this car, with almost 40,000 kilometers on the odometer, still feels very tight and solid. There's no weird creaking noises, rattles, suspension squeaks. Thumbs up to their quality. Out on the open road, the X90 is not a performance car. Gun it hard, you feel that acceleration is smooth but lacking. When you go out on short test drives out in the showrooms, you'll find that other competitors will provide a much stronger acceleration sensation. But bear in mind that the engine and transmission is calibrated for a smooth, comfortable family SUV. Hence, Proton did not go too aggressive in its throttle mapping. Drive it sensibly and you'll notice that the power is smooth, linear, sufficient. Also bear in mind that the X90 is one of the heaviest cars in its segment, 1,740 kilograms, compared to its competitors that ranges between 1.5 to 1.6 tons. At highway speeds, the X90 is one of the most comfortable cars to drive in the segment. It's confident and firm around the bends, reasonably quiet, would be ace if Proton is able to provide acoustic windshield and double glazed front windows to take things up a notch. And with the level 2 ADAS, I can let it follow the road markings and the car in front, just chill and relax all the way until the road markings run out. There are 3 drive modes in the X90. In Eco mode, there's a Smart Glide function, which decouples the clutch when you lift off to allow the car to coast, saving precious fuel. In eco mode, the operational speed is between 30 to 130 kilometers per hour, not available in sport mode, and in comfort mode, you are able to select whether you want this function on or off via the center screen right here. But it has a much higher operating a much narrower operating range of 60 to 130 kilometers per hour. Now, in Smart Glide function, the decoupling and recoupling and re-engaging of the clutch is actually quite seamless. You can't tell when the clutch is engaging or disengaging. However, you know when the Smart Glide function is on because the air compressor will just shut off momentarily.
Steady as the seasons go, every wonder, every winding road.
If you're in the market for a family SUV, the X90 may not be the best value for money option out there given the other cheaper alternatives. However, if you're looking for the most complete package in terms of space, practicality, convenience, comfort, and most importantly, driving experience, the X90 is worth checking out. If you need Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and you don't want to be seen in the Proton, nothing anyone says is able to change your mind. But the next time you go shopping for a family SUV, make sure to remember all the intricate details of the X90 from my video so you're able to make a holistic comparison. My name is Adrian, thanks for watching cDrive, and make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for more detailed videos like this.